Okay, apparently we are live. Totally last minute idea to do this because I was just been at home. I've been watching the results coming in. Oh, I'm going to turn my phone off, otherwise we're going to get double thing. But yeah, Luderitz Speed Challenge has just kicked off. Well, it's been a few days already, but this is the first day of proper wind. The results are coming in. So if you're tuning in to see the action, I'm not in Namibia. I am sitting in Portugal. I'm just watching the results come in, like probably you guys at home. And I thought, well, it's either me messaging friends going, oh, did you see that? Or have you seen this guy going quick? Or I'll just go online and maybe a few of you out there are keen to kind of watch along as well. Now, the idea was maybe I could get hold of someone over there because Rafi has been doing some lives. I just need to send him a link and maybe he can come in and give us some updates. So if you guys are watching and you've got like any way of getting hold of anyone out there, obviously the guys are doing runs and the girls are doing runs, but maybe someone there. And if we can get them the link, we can get them on and get us an update. And that would be pretty epic, I think. If you've been looking at the speeds, if you want to see it for yourself, just go to, I think, the Luderitz speed, Luderitz-speed.com. But you have to be on Google Chrome. A few people have been telling me, I can't get the results, Ben, it's not working. Well, if you go on Chrome, they do come up. Hans Kreisel is leading at the moment with a run of 47.61. Gunnar Asmussen was leading until recently. And it looks like the wind, as far as I remember it, the strongest bit of the wind of the day is kind of now for maybe the next hour. So we should see a few of the guys who've not been putting in times. That strongest bit of the wind could have also gone because sometimes it comes in a little bit early. There is only 1 day of wind when I looked at the forecast, which is not really good. You kind of want those 3 days and then it kind of builds up through the days. So yeah, like I said, this is just a kind of a watch along. Got a few people tuned in. Andrea Pagan, there he is. Who else? We've got a few other people on there. Like I said, if anybody wants to join me on the stream, I might even just put the link in the comments, and anyone who's got a mobile phone with a video, as long as it's not too windy, you can join me. Maybe there's a few of you out there who are watching that are maybe going. Maybe you're going to Luderitz or you've been before. Like I said, if you want to come on, let me know or message me on my phone and I'll send you the link and maybe we'll get you on and we can do some chat. But it is just me looking at results. Is this a good idea? Probably not. But like I said, it's quite interesting because I think not everybody knows it's on at the moment. So I'm just going to go back to these results. Who else have we got there? Eric Beale. Now, he is becoming my new favorite speed sailor. Obviously, for people who don't know, Eric Beale was correct me if I'm wrong, the first man to break 40 knots. That is a massive barrier, the 40 knot barrier. I think in 1988. Would that be correct? Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was a year after I started windsurfing. Now, he's not the biggest of cats. He's not a big fella, but he was the first guy to break 40. And if you've been following his Facebook, it is amazing. I'm going to share you some pictures because I was actually, the reason I'm doing the live stream was actually going to make a little video just using people's social media to kind of give maybe some of the guys and girls out there watching who are not really that interested in speed but would find it interesting. So I was kind of digging around, taking little bits from everywhere, and I was going to piece them all together. I thought maybe I'll just do this live watch along and I can add some stuff in. But you've got to see this. Let me just share the screen of Eric Beale. It's pretty epic. I think so anyway. Just interesting as well. And it's kind of like, if you've seen Antoine Albo, he's in the wind tunnel, he's doing all this. If you've seen Rocky and Dolph Lundgren, you know that Rocky, what was it, the famous Rocky film, where the one's training in the farm and the one's doing it all in the technical stuff. Eric's like, got the jigsaw out making foam body pieces to kind of, it's just, I think it's crazy. Right, let me share this screen. Let me stop that one and then we just share Eric's Facebook. If you don't follow Eric on Facebook, I say share. You should follow him 100%. Like, it's interesting. He's giving probably the best diary of the Luderitz Speed Challenge from anyone that I've ever seen. Like, it's super interesting. So I just want to make sure you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, can everybody see it? Right, there we go. So This is freaking great. So this is his like what is it? It's aerodynamic wingsuit sort of thing, and he's got all these telltales on to check the wind angle and all this sort of stuff. These are a few pictures yesterday. This was him. There's actually a video of this. Sorry, testing testing the wind flow next to his foot. He reckon there's a kilogram of negative or positive pressure, whatever you want to call it, and he thinks he can get rid of that pressure. So just sort of this stuff, I think, is just mega interesting for me. Anyway, I think it's classic. And that's what I think speed is where the interest comes from, is trying all these things. Will they work? I mean, you know, who knows? That's Mickle, Mr. Asmussen. He won't come on. Right, yes, here we go. So this is just a warm-up. Forgive me, if any of you follow Eric, you're probably going to have seen all this, Ben. But if you haven't, I think it's well worth it. So this is this is his stuff from the board, which, I mean, it's a Patrick board, and I think there was like a hollow bit on it, which is to get the mast foot lower to the water, I guess, to get the center of right on the as low as you can. But then he was thinking that's not very there we go, Farrell O'Shea. Anyone who knows who Farrell O'Shea, Mr. Tinker, he knows everything, measures everything. You know, a couple of fins he's using. I think there's some gas oil fins, pretty most of them are gas oil fins. Look at this thing. Look at that. That's like a foam pad from the day place. I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you think of that? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to put a few comments on. This was some of the stuff he was doing. Like I said, it just got me looking and just thinking that it's pretty cool to see some you know, someone doing something different and thinking a little bit outside the box, so to speak. Yeah, I thought it was mega interesting. I think he had a couple of quick runs, and then there's some tune-up stuff. Obviously, Farrell O'Shea is there as well. That's Aurelio, does AV boards, big sponsor of the channel, and he's doing quite a lot of the speed boards for a few of the guys. Twan, obviously, looks like Rafi as well. And yeah, and this is just basically, if you've never been to Luderitz, it's like this is outside the Nest Hotel. Everyone rigs up, tunes their gear when there's no wind, and then usually you've got, you know, quite a bit of time between the wind. So most of the time, once the wind's in, you haven't got time to do much tuning on the channel. So you've got to be ready to go when you get to the channel. Yeah, and like I say, so this is Eric Beale, obviously Patrick Board's got Neil Pride Sail. I'm just interested because he's not a big fella. I saw his speed run. I think he's done obviously first to break 40 knots, but I think he did 48 and a half knots over 500 meters last time, which is, I mean, I think that's quick. Like I say, he's not big. Anyone want to tell me his weight? I'm just going to go through a few comments just while I catch up now. See if I can remember how to do this live stream on my own. So yeah, Andrea, what we got? I think that's some sort of, what's this? Yeah, Mateus tuning in. Hey Ben, how are you doing today? I am doing great. Like I said, this is a bit last minute, and we haven't got any contact with those guys in Luderitz. Maybe we will have. Like I said, if anyone you've got any contacts out there, send them over and we can give them the link. Shall I post the link? Let me post the link. This is dangerous. So pretty much anyone can join the live with this link. Does that work? I'll see if I post that. So if you basically click on that link, you'll be added to the official Windsurfing.TV green room, and I can choose if I want to let you in. If I post that to everyone, let's see how this goes down. We'll see. Show some. I know I am in Portugal. I've got no chance of getting any live. There is no live. They have tried to do a few times from over there, but I didn't see anything. I would love to see some runs. Like I said, I'm kicking this off in the hope that something could happen. So yes, will it be? Most people won't be happy with what I'm doing now, but it's either this or nothing. Maybe a few of you are watching the results, like I said earlier, so I thought, why not? I'm going to go through those results in a minute. Does Eric still have his butler? I don't know. I didn't know Eric had a butler. Yeah, the guy is nuts. I think he's talking about Eric Beale. If you've just tuned in, the stuff I was showing you before. Mert saying he's trying to close the gap. Exactly. So he's trying to cut down any bit of wind escaping through that board and the drag. He's got that. Oh, I didn't show you the bodysuit, did I? That's what I didn't show. Hang on. I didn't show you the best bit. Sorry. I'm not doing very well here. There's the bodysuit. That's the best bit. This bit. Look at this. This is crazy. Yes. Look at that thing. I mean, yes, I just hope it works. I really do. I love it. I love this sort of stuff. This is brilliant. Like I said, this has been keeping me entertained. This is like his foam pieces, which he cut out to stick around him. And then he's got all the drawings and the aerodynamics and stuff. I think it's epic. I really do. I think this is definitely what we should see more of, this sort of stuff. I'm going to see all my Facebook stuff. I have no clue. There was some other stuff where he was cutting it out, but I'm going to cut that and just go back to results, see if we've had any other speeds in, just while I am looking. Like I said, this is a one-man show, so I apologize if this is a little bit disjointed, let's say. Yeah, let's share that screen, which is the oh, I got Andrea Pagan in the green room. Let me give me a second. Let me just share this tab. Like I say, I'm a bit slow today, so excuse me. Let's see if that's the results we've got. See if there's any change. I'm just going to reset that result. See if Hans or Gunn has done a top speed. The last time we checked, Hans was actually leading, and he still is. 47.61. Yeah, interesting. No, Caravan Thunder 43.4. If that is an official time, because these are not official times, if that's an official time, that's bloody quick. So let me see. Let's let me get him in. Andrea.
Hey, how are you doing? Watch out, because I have a screen here and the camera here, so you will see these nice parts.
Beautiful, mate. Are you watching the results?
Yeah, just watching the crazy guy, what he's doing with the
what do you think of Eric Beale? Is he going to go faster this year with all this wingsuit?
I'm not so much following the speed, as you know, but it's interesting to see how the people get crazy for this with the fins and everything. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, like I said, for me, for windsurfing, it just adds a little bit. It makes me more interested, I'll be honest. When I just see the same stuff happening every year, yes, it's interesting. I want to see it. But when you see someone just doing a little bit extra, like I said, he's not the biggest. So he's not going to be, I hate to, break it to a lot of us small guys out there, but he probably will never be the fastest man in the world again. He has been at one point, but his weight in the way it is now, unless there's some major technological breakthrough, which is why he's trying all this, I guess. But with speed, you're fighting against yourself. You want to be the best, but you also there's quite big satisfaction in just beating your own stuff, which is cool.
It's right. I mean, I was checking a few videos when they tried to do something I don't understand. I didn't understand what's doing the fins with the kind of teeny piece of iron. I just checking when he was talking before, I did say, wow, this guy's nuts.
I love it. Nuts. I'm just going to answer this question because a few people have been messaging me this. Why aren't I covering the IQ foil? The IQ foil stuff that I've covered before is because Christian in Switzerland wants me to cover it and it's his event. Whereas the other IQ foil stuff is down to the IQ class and other organizers. And if they want me, they need to speak to me, basically. And I haven't had any contact with them. No one's contacted me. So I think they've got their own media going on. I'm not covering it.
If you want to come here, there is a techno world class. If you want to come here, it's pretty exciting.
there has been a lot of events in Garda recently.
Yeah.
I see so much action from Garda. It's like it's going crazy. We've got Glenn said, I'm glad we're giving it a go. Well, that's good to know. Like I said, it's not the ideal situation, and hopefully we will get someone from Luderitz on here, or there's someone who's going to Luderitz and we can kind of pick their brains, what gear they're taking, what the setup is, because obviously for anyone who doesn't know, I have been to Luderitz before and it was a massive eye-opener. It is like, if you've never been into speed or you've never done any speed like me, and then you go to Luderitz, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You can't even imagine it, really. It's a crazy concept, that little tiny canal thing.
Yeah, I bet. Pretty sure.
Kenneth, hang on. Is there no live coverage planned or arranged this time? As far as I know, they do have an on-off phone connection, so they can do some live stuff there, but you wouldn't be able to set up like a proper live stream, but they could be able to do interviews and stuff. I'm hoping they will be doing that type of stuff. If not, I kind of thought like doing something like this where all you would have to do is have phone signal. You just click on the link like Andrea here has done, and we can kind of add you in, which would be just amazing, just to hear from the guys at the channel, to hear what it's like or something like that. So like I said, if anyone's out there and does have contact with the guys at the channel, I've sent a few messages, but I haven't heard anything back yet. It would be cool to hear from them, I reckon. Justin, how deep is the channel, Ben? I can tell you now, when I did it, there was places where it was verging on fin depth. It was no deeper than a fin at some places, not all the time. And if you were going down the channel on a not a windy day, which is usually when you're kind of doing your practice runs, you've never been there before, you want to go down, it's not a record breaking, you're probably doing, sounds stupid, 40, 41 knots, which in the channel is nothing. On the lighter bits of the channel, because it's so downwind, you feel your fin hitting the bottom. And the fins are 20 cm, 19 cm. So that gives you an idea of how deep the channel is. In some places, it is scarily shallow, like scarily shallow.
This guy is crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, if you, it's not a cheap place to go. I think when we did it, it was over €1,000 a week. To just be a part of the competition, to do those runs, and that money does not guarantee you wind. You know, you turn up, you pick your week, and that's it. If you don't get any wind in that week, so what? So a lot of the guys that are going go for a couple of weeks. To go for less, you know, to just go for 1 week is a huge gamble. And then there are a few guys, I remember speaking to Andy Laufer, he was talking about just going on a forecast, you know, like sitting in Germany pretty much and going, okay, next week looks good. If there was availability, he would pay for that week. Now, you can't always do that. If the channel's full, you can't do that. So yeah, not easy, I have to say. I'm just looking. We've got maybe we might have some more people, but there's no video on these screens. We've got Pavel says his device is not connected, and we got William Green, but it doesn't look like there's any video on there. Come on, show yourselves, and I'll add you in. I'm going out now. William, does that mean you're going out to Luderitz? Is that what we're talking about? Is that what we're having here? Andrea, have you ever done a speed run?
Never.
Never? You ever put a GPS on?
Yeah. I try to go fast with the wing, but it's always a nightmare.
What's your fastest speed you've ever done?
I never had the GPS doing my windsurfing session until I start to surf, or just to get the tracks, or winging, just to see the boards is working good, the foil is working good. So just recently, from last year, we start using a GPS, even to compare our board, the different shapes, how it goes, and That's it.
Yeah.
But if I'm Maui, I don't need a watch. I just get up.
No. No, but I tell you what, once you do a bit of speed, I think the hardest thing for me was once I went to Luderitz. Luderitz is so much faster than everywhere else. Like doing 40 knots is super quick. Don't get me wrong. Doing 41 knots, super quick. In Luderitz, 40, 41, you can do it just cruising. It's scarily easy to do 41 because before going to Luderitz, I did 41 at West Kirby with a strange direction wind. It was a bit choppy and it felt like I was going 60 knots. But
Wow.
on the watch, I just did, I think, 41 something. And the difference is you do 41 knots on the channel, you can turn around, you're talking, you don't even concentrate. It is crazy. Although when I was there, we never had that massive forecast you need. You need wind. Sounds stupid.
Something like 30 plus knots, even more.
You need much more than I think for the channel, because it's so downwind. Like 40 knots is kind of minimum. Oh, here we go. We've got a head. We're adding in.
Hello.
Ben, I'm in Rossniger. I was just wondering, what was your biggest stack you've ever had in the drip?
Biggest what, sorry?
Stack.
There's a few big stacks. In speed sailing wise, I haven't ever really had a big stack. I would say what was the biggest one? I've seen a couple of horrible ones in Luderitz. I heard about a couple of horrible ones as well. Andy Laufer, I think he broke his mast extension. It got a bit shallow because as the competition goes on, the sand from the wind blows into the channel and it makes it even shallower. So there was a few sketchy points. And I know Andy had a pretty big one. I think there's been a few. I mean, if you've seen the old videos that I made from Luderitz, there was one from Antoine Albo where he skips down the channel like a rock, which, I mean, people ask him, why is he not wearing a helmet? And his idea is, if you've got this big helmet on, your neck, that takes a lot more pressure. So there's more chance of you breaking your neck, which kind of makes sense with water, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Should people wear helmets at Luderitz? I saw Patrick Detalm of Patrick Boards. He's one of the worst crashes I've seen, where he hits the edge, like he spins out, the leeward edge catches, and he just goes straight into the mast. Mast breaks in 3 places, and his head pretty much goes through the sail. And he had 2 black eyes, face out. It didn't look great. Yeah. I got to say, but I don't touch wood. I have been relatively lucky in terms of crashing. I'm kind of cautious person. I'm not so crazy.
Because you're getting old.
Hey?
Because you're getting old.
It is, I tell you. And people when you're younger and you hear the old people say things like that, you think, shut up. I'm not going to be like that when I get older. But when you get older, your brain has got so many more scars of problems that they just come back without you even knowing it. So you have much more to kind of work from. Whereas when you're younger and you haven't had those problems, like those scars on the brain, you don't know them. And you're like, it'd be fine. So, yeah, I think it's kind of different.
I've got to go, but nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, mate. Cheers, Will.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, like I said, if you are just tuning in and wondering what the hell's going on, I was watching Luderitz. I had the scores up on my own. I was trying to make Send It Sunday, and I was like, well, maybe there's another couple of people out there watching the results coming in, and maybe people want to chat, want to get on. I have put the link to this stream in the chat. And if you kind of click on it, you can get added to the green room, and I can add you into the chat. If if you've got a question, if you are going to Luderitz, you know someone's gone to Luderitz, or you do some speed, or you just want to get on and have a say hello, like I said, click in. What else have we got? We got Holland tuning in. Hello from Holland. Greet to all the speed friends. Exactly. Go Hans. Hans Kreisel, as you can see on the list at the moment, is the fastest man of the day. These aren't official results. Official results comes at the end. But I tell you what, Karel van Tonder from South Africa, if that is an official score, 43, 40, the results come quick.
Sorry. I don't know whether something was wrong. All right.
But, what we got? We got New York tuning in. Good to see.
New York City.
What's the maximum amount of competitors that can surf on the channel in one day? I think they set a maximum of about 20. But I tell you what, it's what I've found is we didn't get, when I was on the channel, we didn't get that crazy day. That one where when you're there, the guys tell you, they say, you know, it's the big day because stones, literally stones that big, are flying into the channel from like the desert. There's this big channel, there's like a big sort of valley-ish plain that comes in and across the channel. And the stones from there start blowing. And I was like, whatever. And we had a day which was quite windy. And I tell you what, you could just feel the next level up from that is, I think Antoine Albo said, he said, apocalyptic. And he's got those goggles on and you see the shots and you can't basically go down the channel because the dust and the rocks are coming in. So you need the goggles to protect yourself from that. I've seen some good shots of Paul Wagstaff up there as well with the goggles on and the GoPro. It is like 50 plus knots, but full on, like maybe even more, 60 knots. It's when you get the big days, it's big. But going back to my original point, when you get those big days, there's not so many people on the channel. So the day I had, which was a fun windy day where I did my top speed, there's a lot of people on the channel, and it basically it works like this. It's kind of like, have you ever been mountain biking with an uplift service where you go down the hill, you get on the back of the bus brings you to the top of the hill, you go down the hill, and it's kind of like that. You know, there's a van with a trailer, you know, you're all queuing up in the starting area, you get a green or a red flag from the guy who's halfway down the course. Once the guy has made it all the way down, or the girl has made it all the way down there safely at the end, green flag goes up and you can start your run. Now, starting your run, you think, oh, well, if you start your run, it's not that easy. You know, it's 40 odd knots and you're in this muddy kind of pool with a gusty wind trying to hold too big a sail. And there's a few people who don't even get out of the start block. So it's very frustrating when you know this wind could only be in for half an hour, the peak wind, and everyone's trying to go. I think if anyone has ever seen the daily sort of log of Antoine Albo where he broke the world record, he had his own van and he was just doing laps. And because I think the channel wanted him to break the record, obviously, because it's good for the channel, they gave him a sort of like a priority pass. As far as I know, I wasn't there that year. So he was getting quite a lot of runs and it made the difference because, again, anyone who's ever done speed will know you've got to be there on that time where the wind is all the way down the channel, because the channel is not consistent. It's not like you start and you have 60 knots all the way down the channel. There's gusts, there's shifts in the wind, and sometimes the wind is always stronger at the end, and the middle bit there's a bit of a lull. So sometimes you're going down the channel, it's all going well, and you're like, oh my God, this is going to be my best run. That's what you're thinking in your head. And you're ready for the end bit where it gets windier, and it doesn't. For the one time, it doesn't. And you're just like, no. And it's so downwind, it feels like the wind just sucks in. It's horrible feeling. You think this is the run, and it just, no, never mind. What's this say? 57.21. That seems very fast. I have a feeling that can't be correct. If that is 57. I'm pretty sure that's not an official run, but
Right.
Hans Kreisel has just upped his speed 48. So the wind is picking up. Like I say, this is the strongest hour of the day usually. What's Enrique on? is he on some sort of spaceship? That's quick. 57. We got Ferry tuning in from Holland. I think we've already had. Yeah, we got New York. I said tune in. The Seychelles tuning in, and yeah, like I said, I'm saying 57-1. That's quick. Yeah, I'd be surprised if that's an official result at the end of the day. If it is, Antoine Albo better be a bit worried. Andrea, what's the news on Albo? What is he doing in the wind tunnel?
Just talked to him 2 weeks, no, maybe 3 weeks ago. He was having the baby, the new baby. It's almost finished to build the house. We didn't talk about holidays. We just congrats for both. We have actually I got married, so he got a new baby child, and so we just talk like normal people. We don't talk about boards. Even I'm doing some JP boards now for JP, and just a few words. Like always, talk with Antoine is always crazy guy.
No, but the thing is, I keep seeing stuff from him in this wind tunnel, but I'm not actually sure what the official plan is. I'm sure someone knows much more out there. But yeah, it's but I'd like to know if anyone's got any information about the whole wind tunnel stuff. I'll be pretty excited. Paul Dunn says hello from Bonnie, Scotland. Apparently, I'm not allowed to do that voice. Apparently, I'm taking the piss. I'm not taking the piss. It's in me. What can I do? Is the suit from Eric Beale is working on? Is this? I don't know if you just tuned in, but I was just showing it before. I think it's epic. Like I want it to work. I want stuff like that to work. I always remember Finian Maynard when he did his first. I can only describe it as a condom suit. It was like this silver suit with the hoods, and it was very figure hugging. And we know speed sailors have, they've got a certain proportion. It wasn't that flattering, but he went quick in it. So, I'm interested to see. And then looking at all the diagrams from Eric, which I'm going to show now, because maybe a few people have just tuned in. Because if you don't follow Eric Beale on Facebook, I'm telling you now, I'm going to plug him a lot, because I think he's doing good things. He's given me the feeling that something is happening over in Luderitz. So this is his kind of wingsuit. He's got all the telltales. He's been working on, wind flow over the feet. He's got a load of stuff with his board and sort of foam pads and stuff, which I'll just click on in a second. I'm just trying to find the best one to do this. Yeah, this is his.
This one.
I mean, this is Eric Beale's windsuit. He was the fastest man in the world in 1988. Broke the 40-knot barrier. First guy to do it. And look, he's not a big fella. So I love this. He's got to do something. But I'm just not sure how it is to sail like that. Because when I was in Luderitz, I tell you what, it was all about the start. The start, if you could get up to speed at the start and into the first corner, this was a big thing. So if you took away sort of mobility from that, I could imagine it wouldn't be very easy. Sorry, I'm just struggling to navigate my Facebook. But yeah, so I mean, interestingly, and then like I said, if you have just tuned in, you've already seen this, apologize, but this is just for the other people who haven't seen it. He's been doing sort of crazy stuff with the board as well, which is this massive like foam pad closing the gap on the leeward side, that is. I just find it interesting. I like it. I really hope it works. I want to see some weird and wonderful stuff, because like I say, when I was growing up, there was a lot going on with the speed and all the weird stuff, you know, fixed wings. Is fixed wings going to come back? I mean, I don't know. What's everyone's take? Anyone into speed? Are we going to see sails with a fixed wing? Say, just looking at the updated speed, Hans Kreisel, 48 at the moment. Obviously not official. Carol von Tonda, 43. That's pretty good. Solid. Twan needs to update a few things. And Eric Beale at the moment, not doing too bad for a little fella, 44.7. So he's obviously got some speed. What have we got? Let's go through a few comments. Alberto. Imagine that 57 to be true. Exactly. Imagine that. Oh, God. Well, Julian saying Hans improved nearly 1 knot when you refreshed. Exactly. He is getting quicker. Again, this is the fastest bit of the day. Andy Laufer, come on. Can we get Andy Laufer in the chat? Andy, if you are watching right now, click on this link. We want to get Andy Laufer in here for sure. Click on that link, Andy. If you've got your mobile on, it will work. As long as you're in a place where you can talk. Come on, click on the link. Laufer. We want Laufer in this chat. Laufer has had one of the biggest crashes. I wasn't there when he had it, but he's had a massive crash at Luderitz. Obviously, one of the fastest guys on the channel. He drives around in a Porsche. I mean, this guy needs to be on. Come on, Laufer. Click on that link. Remember Pascal Macca? Exactly. The production speedboards. Yeah, wasn't it? Was it Eric Beale which had his name on the Bic Allegro? Anyone remember the Bic Allegro? And then we had what? The Alpha Speed Needle, Bic Allegro is the only ones I can remember off the top of my head. Hey, here he is. Let's get him in. Mr. Laufer.
Servus.
How we doing, dude?
How are you doing?
When are you
Very
going
good.
down?
I'm sitting here with my brother. Hi, Ben.
Hey, when are you going to Luderitz?
Servus. I'm actually still waiting. I'm waiting for the real wind to kick in. So I'm actually on standby from today on, so until the end.
So I was actually just talking about you before because you did that, I think, last time as well. You stayed in Germany, waited for the
Really,
forecast.
I just entered the chat, so I didn't hear it.
Yeah, but you're doing the same thing, just waiting for a good forecast, and then you book your ticket and go.
Exactly. I just got my. I just got. Yeah, exactly. I might go even straight to Windhoek and then to Luderitz because that's basically much faster. So yeah, I will see. But right now the forecast looks not that good. Like the next window is by the end of next week. So let's hope that we are lucky.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the forecast earlier, and there's a big gap after this amount of wind. So there's going to be a lot of frustrated speed sailors in Luderitz.
How about you?
So.
Yeah, well, one day I would like to go back. I'm going to eat some more pies, put on some weight. I'm going to watch Eric Beale closely to see what he's doing with his wingsuit. And then maybe I would actually, what I would like to do is go and do the media again, you know, and do a few runs, because I think on a good year, it's some of the best video footage you will get on a, you know, a proper forecast. We're talking a 60 knotter.
So, oder? Falsches Passwort. Wahrscheinlich ist eine falsche Links. Nee, das ist falsche,
Germany seems a bit
falsche
further away than normal.
Gastzugang. Das ist noch blöd. Komm ich dann in die Box.
Are you there, Mr. Laufer?
Wait.
Okay, I'm going to go to the comments while Andy sorts his internet out. We've got Francois says, yeah, I remember Macca, and he broke the speed record exactly. Pascal Macca, Eric Beale, what was it? Thierry Bilac. Remember Thierry Bilac? What that name?
Is it better now? Now the connection.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So talk me through your crash at Luderitz.
Which one?
Well, I heard, I'd already left at the time, but I heard, didn't you have a big crash at the end where your mass foot broke or something?
No, actually the boom broke within the one run. It was not the really, really fast day. It was like 46, 48 knots maybe. But then the front of the boom broke. And that was actually a pretty gnarly crash, but nothing hurt. And I was just like bumping on the water pretty long for a long time, but it was okay. I had some worse, much worse crashes with the slalom board actually.
Yeah, it can go. I mean, the speed stuff, I was there for quite a long time. We never got the real wind, which I guess that's when stuff gets really real. Have you, like, since I was there, you've been back, have you had any proper windy days then? What's the windiest day you've had in Luderitz?
Is my pick freezing? No, the windiest day I've ever had was like, it was in 2019, but on this day I broke my 5.2. So quite on the beginning, and I managed to do the 100 kilometers plus, like 54 knots plus on top speed. But I crashed, I think one run later, I crashed my sail and I couldn't sail, and with 5.6 was unsailable. I tried a little bit, but it wasn't even possible to start. It was like 60 knots on the start, like 65 knots.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the hardest thing to explain to people, isn't it? How physically windy it is at that start. It's
It's really,
crazy.
really windy right at the starting line and at the finishing line, and in the middle, there's like a wind hole of like 20 knots less than at the starting line, which is the most the most difficult thing. Most difficult thing is to start like to get a real good start and accelerate to more than 51, 52 knots till the first gate. This is the most challenging thing about the whole event, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that's what the stats sort of say, isn't it? If you hit the start at 50,
yeah,
it's what you need to be over 50 if you want a record breaking run.
Yeah, if you want to do a record, then you need to be like more than 52, 53, 54, something like this, because right in the middle there's always this little wind hole, and you really have to put lots of weight on your back so you can pass the wind hole pretty fast. The more weight you have, the more the less you decelerate within this wind hole.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another crazy thing that I found is when I put the weight on, the light wind bit got easier, which doesn't make any sense to me as a normal person. You would think the light guys would go well through the lull, but they don't. What I found was, being a light guy, I decelerated quicker.
Exactly. The more you wait, the better it is in the wind hole. So you just like, boom, you just pass the wind hole. You don't even feel it. So that's why I was working on my weight vest this year. I put I put some really nice how do you say, weight in there. So I'm not looking like a Michelin guy, this little thing anymore. So I look pretty narrow, like just normal, but I can put like 20 more than 20 kilos now.
Really? 20?
Yeah.
What have you gone for? The strips or the ball bearings? Because I heard someone said the lead shot, and then they put them in silicon and they mold them, so if you crash, it's less of a, I don't know. I thought that sounded crazy, but what
but I have like big pockets, and I put like big pieces of lead inside. I cut them through. It's like they're pretty thin. They're even soft, so they bend a little bit. And also I put some weight in my harness, so my harness is like pretty heavy already. So I think I can make my harness already up to 9 kilos. So
Really?
yeah.
But not 20 in the vest and 9 in the harness.
Yeah, I know in the West I could put like 15,
Okay.
something
Jeez.
like this, 15, 16. I had like 15 kilos the last time already. So yeah.
Yeah, I think when I did it, I had 9, and it just made a massive difference. And I remember finishing that day and going, if I come next time, I'm doubling up.
Yeah, for sure. Because especially when you're light and you're a light guy, it's a really big difference actually. You can feel, and it feels so much easier on the course when you have this weight on your back.
Yeah.
The only thing you get tired really, really fast, like in your legs after like 5 runs, 6 runs. If you have like more than 15 kilos on your back, you feel that.
Yeah.
Get
and the start's
tired if you're not like,
a bit more tricky.
like me, basically.
Just a quick question on your gear.
It's a lot more.
What are you taking with you?
I have actually 2 new boards in my car over there. I just prepared the bottoms a little bit because they were not like perfect. So I have them here in the beautiful Lake of Constance here at my brother's place. And then maybe I get prototype sales from Near Pride. They're gonna get ready next week, hopefully. A 5.1. And I just take my Evo 12 sales, which are pretty good, and my 2 other speedboards from the 2019. So I have 38, 39, and 40 boards.
Bloody hell. And how heavy are you? Just normally without weight?
101. 1-1-1-2.
Jesus, you're a big fella now. My God, 101.
Oh, I was always 100.
Really? 101?
Yeah. Since years, I'm basically the same. Farrell, he's got 110 now, huh? I saw.
Who? Gunnar?
Farrell.
Oh, right. I couldn't start. He said Gunnar.
No, Gunnar has 105, I think, something like this.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Stick 25 kilos on that. It's yes, it sounds fast.
Yeah.
So when you say preparing the bottom of your board, what do you mean? What do you do?
Yeah, there was a little bit of tail rocker inside, which is not pretty good. Like too much tail rocker.
Okay.
And some issues and some other issues. So we were preparing the bottom a little bit. So now it's perfect. And I got some other speed fins now, also like a 18.8. Here's my mother.
Hey,
I'm on.
The birthday today.
Oh, Geburtstag.
Geburtstag, ja, genau.
Okay, so what fins have you got? Just out of interest, any brand names?
Actually, from Nolo, from Günter Leuch.
Okay.
It's 18.8 and a 19, and I've got like 4 or 5 different other from Z fins. I also got Z fins. Like they also work quite good in the canal, like 18.6, 18.8, 19, and 19.2 for light winds.
Yeah, but that's still small, isn't it? I remember, like I had I think an 18 and a 19 and a 20, and I suppose I used the 19 and the 20, but I never had the windy days. And the faster you go, because you're obviously going a lot faster than me, you need a smaller fin, because the faster you go, the more lift you create.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Basically, 18.8. I found out for myself is the best size with a 5.2 and completely overpowered. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go because we're invited.
No worries, man. Well, good luck. I look forward to seeing your results, mate.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, mate. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.
There we go. Andy Laufer. We're going to bring Mr. Pagan back in. Sounds like he's been for a quick coffee. He is in Italy. So, yeah, Andy Laufer. Interesting to hear what he's up to. And he's doing that same tactic of waiting home in Germany, looking at the forecast and going out. He's a busy boy. He runs his own businesses. So, you know, to him to go for 3 weeks, it doesn't work out. He's rather pay more money for the flight, more hassle, but do that on a forecast. And if you haven't seen the forecast for Luderitz, well, it's not amazing. It's not. There's like one day which is right now. As I'm just gonna put the scores back on, just in case you guys are tuning in and haven't seen them yet. I'll update them as well, because we do have, obviously, there is the first day of proper wind over in the channel. Now, there are some unofficial results on here. You might see a 57.2. It could well be a new world record. We don't think it is. Hans Kreisel is leading at the moment, although Twan Versaput has just put in a 47.5. So maybe that means the wind has kicked in, and this is when you're going to see Farrell O'Shea take to the water. You're going to see Gunner, because a lot of people, those guys in particular, wait for the windiest part of the day. They know that they're not going to break any records until it's the windiest part of the day, and they just go up, they do their 3 or 4 runs, and that's it. You have other guys that may be testing stuff out, you know, working on gear, and they use the lighter winds, you know, still doing 47 knots, but they use those lighter winds to tune and get ready for when the wind comes, because those top boys, they're only really interested in going over 50 knots. You know, some of them are pretty much only interested in breaking world records. So unless you're going to do a 50-knot run, it's kind of almost not worth it. But you can use them to tune your gear. So yeah, that's what I mean. If you are just tuning in, we are not in Luderitz. That is it. I've just put the screen on because I saw the first day of wind. I was following it, interested to see what's going on, and I wanted to share some stuff that I was looking at with Eric Beale, which we've kind of already done, which I think is interesting. Everyone's saying I'm talking about a bomb vest. No, I know what you're talking about. So I also going back to the weight jacket, because I thought this was interesting, and I think it was who was it? I think it was Mark Grinnell.
It was the one
about it when I was in Luderitz, that his weight jacket, what they do, I don't know, it wasn't him. Anyway, they were talking about lead shot, so like, you know, fishing weights, the spheres, the little balls, and then you set it in silicon, and then it kind of can move. So if you crash, you don't get this big square bit of lead in your body, I guess, which I guess kind of makes sense. You know, I kind of like that idea. I never tried it because the idea of me flying on the plane with 20 kilos of just lead didn't make sense. So there was someone saying they should get someone to make it, all these things over in South Africa, and you can kind of pick them up on the way.
Ben.
Yes.
Do you remember Anders Bindal? Long time ago, he made a vest called Liberty. It was with the 2 pockets that you can slide it in a piece of metal or whatever. That was the start, actually, for the weight vest.
Yeah, no, I meant the Liberty jacket.
Like 25 years ago.
There's still quite a few people using that Liberty jacket when I went to the speed course. So what's that? Sorry, Martin says sending you a picture of steel barrels in silicon. Yeah, see, it maybe is a thing. Like, I thought it sounded interesting. It totally made sense to me when it was explaining it. Is a flat bottom faster? I think it is. I mean, yeah, it's all to do with just the least drag, I guess. I mean, I'm not that technical in board design and stuff, but you can imagine if your board's like that, there's no drag. If it's got a bit more rocker, it pushes much more water. I mean, in simple terms, the more rocker you've got, the more it pushes through the water and has more drag. The flatter it is, obviously, the less drag. Andrea, he's Mr. Board Repairer Designer.
But Paul says, when you're putting the jump ramp in the hand of the run.
Yeah, I just see that comment. Paul Van Ballen, I have to say, I'm going to show you this as well. I did notice this right now. Let me just share this screen because this is kind of funny, and see if you know.
Go to the moon.
No. So I was looking at I was looking into Eric Beale earlier. So, and what I found is I found his run let me, oh no, I'm showing the wrong one here. Is that it? Let me just see if that's it. Oh, it's not. I'm doing a terrible job here, guys. Hang on. That's not right either. Jesus. I had Eric B. I found it. Okay. So, like I say, you will have to bear with me. I'm not the best at doing this on my own. I'm not used to it. I'm used to having people sort it out. So, I was watching this run from Eric and just check the end of this run.
Standard.
Yeah, but check the end of this run. This is his record, his personal record from last year. Just watch the end. And I'm so gutted they ended it when they did. I mean, this is a fast run. There's no doubt about it. I think this is 48 and a half. But look how windy that is and how scary it looks. But watch the end. Now, I know the end stops. There's not much water at the end of this. Look at the speed and then look at the speed there. There is no way in the world he stopped. There is no way. Look, the end is there. He's going up the beach. I can't believe they ended it. Anyway.
Antoine normally drives pretty down jibe to stop, and then last time I saw the video was crashing the other side of the channel or whatever.
I mean, it's definitely easy to crash. It's not it's not like everyone makes the finish. There's so many people who has not made that finish and ended up on the beach, and I'm pretty sure Eric, unless he did some miraculous recovery, then he would have ended up pretty much on the beach. So what have we got? Hans Kreisel. Not many updates. Hans has gone into the lead for the day, although I'm still saying Enrique from Spain, 57.2. Unless they were on a kite, but I don't think they are. You never know, but that's very, very fast. I would say. Maybe too fast. What else have we got?
One comment was why we don't call Fred Haywood.
Sorry, I was just reading this from. So for God's sake, don't take a ball bearings in silicon to the airport.
I mean,
yeah,
first of all,
be asking for trouble.
First of all, I think it's pretty night in Maui right now. It's 15 to 5, so I don't think it's sleeping. And then I'm pretty sure it's so busy selling houses now.
Is that Fred? Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to navigate my private Facebook to get this picture. See if I can. Yeah, see, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let me. At least I'm not talking absolute rubbish. I'm glad someone's helped me out there, Morton. Cheers, mate. Let me just work out how to do this. Like I said, I'm not the most technically gifted person. I shouldn't be running my own channel, that's for sure. Kind of useless. I'm just gonna. The stupid thing is with this system, with this live stream system, I can't actually share a picture. I have to be able to share a screen. So let me just put that in.
Printed.
Yeah, I mean, it's so ridiculous the way this system is working.
What about 15 knots body dragging challenge?
No, but I'm all up for that. I think there should be some sort of speed body drag challenge. There's too many things there's so many like windy days on the channel which aren't record breaking that you could use them to do, I think, something else. I think it's kind of interesting. Is that going to work? Can you see that? Anybody?
Yeah, something like I don't know, like a.
Yeah, so that's like basically that's ball bearings in silicon.
Right.
And that apparently is the thing because it moves over each other, and when you crash, you have less of a impact. So cheers to Morton for sending that. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's such a good idea, and it makes a lot of sense. That I think that's super.
There's
cool.
also another way. You just eat 10 days in a row in McDonald's, you gain 20 kilos, you're done.
There is that. Yeah, but I tell you what, the difference is with weight, you can place it higher up.
Yeah,
like
that's
most of the time. If you put on weight, it goes around the bottom half. When you stick your own lead on, you can stick it a bit higher. The Pokemon Prophet says, who's going to be the first to do a run on a door? Yeah, do Kelly Slater style. Apparently, he's rooting for Twan. I was going to say, who does everyone think? Who do you think is going to put some records together? Who is going to be the shout for the world record? I mean, super close last time. My brain's gone. Sorry. Belgian. Valkners. Come on, brain. There we go. Anyway, you know, I thought he'd got the world record over Antoine Albo, Vincent. And but it has to be the record. To get the record, it has to be a percentage faster. Is that correct? I mean, maybe if someone from the speed world can help me out, but Hans is obviously going quick at the moment. We're just seeing that. Like I said, we'll put those results back on just to keep you informed of how it's working. If you don't know, Luderitz Speed Challenge started. They're pretty much a week in, and they've only really had their first day of proper wind today. So not a great start in terms of wind statistics, but today Hans Kreisel's kind of leading well. Enrique with a 57, we think is not quite the right speed, but Hans is 408. So yeah, 48 and a half knots basically. Twan moved up into second place, but it doesn't look like a record-breaking day at the moment. And we get into that time of the day where I wouldn't have thought you're going to get much more than that. You never know, but usually that sort of time I came online for the next hour is when I was there anyway, which was when the action was going down. Morton says it shapes around your body and works as armor. Yeah, which makes a lot of sense, I reckon. Oh, we've lost him. I'll add him back in.
Sorry, wrong button.
That's all good. Yeah, so we got Glenn saying Hans Kreisel, he reckons going to get the record. We've got Jake saying Twan's going to get the record. Ferry says Hans or Vincent. I mean, Vincent's got to be a big shout, hasn't he? When does he get there? Is he checking the forecast? Vincent. Hans, top favorite in the winds. And again, it depends on the wind, because we get some guys who are faster when the wind's a bit lighter, but when it gets to record wind, other guys kind of step up. And like I said, there is a big difference between that really windy 60 knots and the 50 knots. You know, there's or 40 knots, let's say. The difference between the two is quite huge. And I never had the big wind, so I don't even know if I could handle it. You know, I was going okay in what we had. I was actually on a bigger sail than Bjorn.
Big man.
It doesn't mean I was faster.
Yeah, right.
On a bigger sail, which is interesting that, you know, bigger sail is not always better because there's more drag. So if you can get away with a smaller sail, in theory you should. Swings and roundabouts, I guess. But as we were speaking to Laufer before, you have to have the acceleration, because you have to hit the gate, the start gate, which is really close to the top of the course, at full speed. If you want to break 50 knots, you need to be there at least at 50, if not a little bit over, because the middle of the course is lighter and then the end is windier. So there's wind at the beginning, wind at the end, and a bit of a light bit in the middle. When you know you're on a good run, is the middle bit is cranking as well. And then you're just hoping that you get that big gust at the end. And that's what you know is happening. And I had one run, which I'm sure, I am positive, was quite far over 50. And I got this spin out towards the end and lost it all. And I was so gutted, because I know that would have been my quickest run. I think it actually might have been the run where I did peak 50 and then I span out. And I know it would have been so frustrating speed. And then the wind kind of dropped a little bit after that, and I never got the chance again. Talking to Vincent last Friday, he said he was going. Good to see, because there is a list on, and there's a few people missing, and Eric Beale isn't even on, and he's there. So I've kind of not paying too much attention to that list. Hans or Vincent says, Leon. We got Cara for the women. Yeah, I mean, she's put in a pretty solid time already. I'm not quite sure what her record was, but she's already done 43.5, has she? Just looking at, I can't see on that little screen, but Carol, yeah, 43.5. So interesting to know what her record is. But maybe we've seen the highest speeds from today already going down, which is a shame. We're not going to see a 50 knotter by the looks of it. And then forecast wise, I don't think, let me just pull up the forecast now. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure it's not looking too hot, I don't think. I don't know if it's on the second lagoon or Luderitz. Maybe let's have a look. Yeah, okay. I can probably just share this screen. It's going to give you the best idea, just save you guys looking it up. But it's not great. It's, you know,
Yeah.
if you're there and you've paid your money, you'd be looking at that forecast going, oh, bugger. So I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's the forecast. So as you can see today, it's saying 28 to 37. If I remember rightly, that was a similar forecast to my windy day, I think, you know, and it came through a little bit better. And it wasn't a windy day. So we're looking on the forecast for something more than that. Sometimes those other forecasts, like down here, can develop, and sometimes you can get it windier than they say. But we're looking for that wind, you know, that southeast wind. And you want really 2-3 days in a row, and it kind of builds up into it. They have been, from my experience, and that's kind of a real normal sort of pattern. You get a few days of wind, then you get a few days off, and then a few days of wind, a few days off, and then a few days of wind, and you're just looking for that monster forecast. So, you know, if you're there for that first week, you've already wasted a week. There's 1 day of wind, and it's not been a 50 knot day. And it looks like now you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then
Friday.
No guarantees that those two are going to be record breaking days. So it's a hard go. You know, that speed sailing is a really, it's a tough mental battle. You've waited all year for this. You know what I mean? And then you're just reliant on the weather. We all know that. But, you know, with speed, it's even more. You know, it's not like if you go wave sailing, you're like, yeah, decent day. It was all right, you know. But it's speed, and you've gone for a record. There's only one thing that will cut it, and that's just flat out proper wind. 60 knots, record breaking day. That's all they want. They only want that. Obviously, you want to get a couple of warm-up days to get yourself ready. You don't really want to get there and your first day be a 60 knotter. I saw video from Twan, I think, that he put on when he first got there, and he said he went for a warm-up run and he was peaking 51 knots. So that's a warm-up day, as he called it. So they still haven't had that record-breaking day. Will they get it? I'm hopeful they will, I have to say. Mateus in the chat says, Gunner, he thinks he's going to do it. There we go. Someone giving us some information. Morton says, Caro has a 44.5 from last time. So only a knot behind what she did, which is her personal best, on a day where the guys are not getting close to their personal bests. So I would say she's in for a good shout. I think she sounds, you know, it's just looking at the numbers, you would say she seems in good form, maybe. And she's already had a few years. And I remember the first year you're there, it's quite intimidating. Second year, you're probably more dialed in. Third year, I reckon that's the full-on one, you know, because it's so scary. People ask me all the time. And the weird thing that I took away from that channel was, it's like you do not get a chance to practice, because you practice, but you only practice when it's not record-breaking conditions. When it's record-breaking conditions, you've got to be ready. Everything has to be ready, because you're not going down going, oh, I'm just going to move my harness line. Oh, I'm just going to tweak this. You need everything, and I mean everything, ready and dialed. So that's why the guys that go for years, they don't always turn up with new gear. They turn up with new gear, but they've also got their old gear, which is all measured, and they know exactly what that gear can do. And then they bring the new stuff to try and see if it's better. But if you get one day, some of them, it's difficult to gamble on the new gear, because they're like, well, I know if I get a good run on my old gear, I could probably break the record. So I mean, like I said, I've only done 1 week there, or I think we did 10 days, but it's like a massive, steep learning curve. You know, I hung out quite a lot with Farrell O'Shea, who is one of the best in the business. He's done that event probably more times than nearly anybody, and he is on it. You know, anyone who knows Farrell, rock and roll, mate. He is measuring everything. You know, he helped me with a tune-up, so I had like this massive help forward. If I'd have just turned up with my gear, I would have been just terrible. Like, you know, they're telling me how much downhaul, how many cam spacers, because yes, it's a rotational sail, but you only go one way. So you don't need to be able to jibe. You know, you don't need to be able to flip the rig. So you're basically rigging it to go one way. So it's like a brick. It's full, you know, like the cambers, you can barely turn them around. You know, batten tension, and then the tack strap. If anyone's watched my video, you'll kind of know, but you tighten that tack strap, which pulls the bottom of the sail and gives you more shape in the bottom, which obviously keeps everything down. It's, like I say, it's interesting. It's interesting. Okay, well, there we go. Like I said, it was a bit of a last minute thing, but I thought I would come on. I was hopeful we might get someone from the channel. I had messaged Rafi. I thought it would be cool if we could just get someone on over there. I know they've not got the best internet, but I've still not had any. Oh, Farrell O'Shea has seen your message, but I guess he's busy. But you never know. Like, there might be a chance. What I'm going to try and do is, well, I spoke to Twan as well, is there's no wind for the next couple of days. So I think what I'll try and do is something along the lines of this with the boys over there and the gear, and maybe they can give us some insights into what happened today. How's it looking? What's going down? If you guys think that's interesting, let me know in the comments, because it might not be worth doing. I don't know. But yeah, we've got Jim Crossley. I'm sure Bjorn is going soon. Are you going, Jim?
Bjorn is here.
Yeah, Bjorn. I saw Bjorn is in Lake Garda. We got Ferry saying, Ben, are you going? Do you want to take your watermelon helmet again? Exactly. Well, you know, this is the funny thing. This is why I love the stuff that Eric Beale's doing. It's because the watermelon, this whole thing started because I didn't want to wreck a normal helmet. So my idea was to get some builder's foam from the hardware store, and then make this melon and then shape like a cone, like the cyclists have, to cut down the aerodynamics. And I was going to do the wetsuit. The problem is we couldn't find any builder's foam to shape the suit, which is probably a good thing, because I probably would have ended up getting stuck in this suit and probably drowned, or I don't know. So it maybe was a good idea. It didn't happen, but yeah. I'm not going though. No, I would like to go back one day. That is 100% official. Like I said, the once just gets your brain going. And I think now if I went back, I would definitely be in a better position. Would I go any faster? I don't know. You know, maybe not. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. When you go there with all the expectation and thinking you're going to do better, you don't always go better. But I would like to have at least a couple of runs with the proper wind to see what's possible. I would love to go over 500 for over 50 for 500. Is it possible at my weight? I would definitely go heavier. I would take much more weight, 100%. And I when I went to Luderitz, I'd just come back from a foot injury and I hadn't been sailing at all. So I wasn't fit and I wasn't kind of on it. So I do feel I would like to go back. I just, you know, sometimes maybe the once is enough and that's it. But I feel there's unfinished business there that I want to go. What else have we got? We've got Anton Payne. One day he's going to go down the channel. You should do it, mate. Yeah, it's definitely experience. It's just not cheap. You need to get a sponsor, really, or you need to have a pretty well-paid job, or because it is a big gamble. You don't know if you're going to get wind. It's well worth it, don't get me wrong, but you have to be prepared that you might not get it. But 100% what it is worth, it's such a cool experience. It's a really surreal experience. It's kind of weird. The first time you go down the channel, doesn't matter how windy it is, my first run down the channel, I will never forget it. I think I did about 39 knots. It wasn't very windy at all, but it was just a cool feeling. It was like a walk in the park, and I just did 39, which, you know, in speed terms is nothing. But for me, I didn't even feel like I was going 25. It was just so quick. What else? We've got Glenn. He's enjoyed this. Well, that's good to know. Like I said, it was a bit last minute. I was trying to make Send It Sunday, and my Send It Sunday was angling towards Luderitz Speed Challenge, and I got all this stuff from Eric Beale, and then I saw the results coming through, and I couldn't concentrate. So I thought, well, maybe we'll go live, and maybe there's a few people interested to tune in. But like I said, I'd really like to get someone who's over in Luderitz now to give us a bit of a chat. But we'll try and do that this week. So you know what I mean. Keep your eyes out. We try and do it. Jim says he's going over in a couple of weeks for the windy period. Yes, it looks like you might have called it good because you're not missing anything at the moment, Jimbo. How heavy are you at the moment, Jim? Feel free if you want to join on the chat, mate. I'll put the link in case you want to join us. Just so you know, that link puts you in, for anyone who's only just tuned in, puts you in the green room, and then I can add you. So it's not like I'm going to get some dodgy screen come up. I can at least do a little bit of like screening to see who comes in. So if you click on that link, if you've got like mobile, I'm pretty sure it works with a mobile, like Andy. Sometimes it doesn't always work. What else?
94 kilos.
Say again.
94 kilos weight, Jim.
94. There we go. Yeah, Jim, 94 kilos. You got a bit of doing, mate. Andy Laufer just told me he's 100, and he's got 20 odd kilos. What? 15 kilos on his back, 9 kilos in his harness. Yeah, I'm up for doing another Idiot's Guide to Speed. Speed is so difficult. Like you need the wind, you need this, you need a few things to line up. And then if you're on proper speed gear, like one-way speed gear, there's a lot of walking. Like you might not know it, but in speed, there's a lot of walking unless you've got someone giving you a lift, like in Luderitz, which is why it's so good. Yeah, Jim says, so it's 1,250 euros a week to do it. So, you know, it's not cheap. There's no doubt about it, but it is the fastest place in the world, hands down. There's no question about that. It's the fastest place in the world at the moment. I'm interested to see what Antoine Albo's got up his sleeve. Can we get Farrell O'Shea on? He's just messaged me, so we might be able to get him on if he's I know there's not much signal there. Let's see if he's got a Nokia 6110 or something. Well, you never know. He's it sounds like he's just got back to the beach. So it sounds like maybe it's kind of not, the wind has not come through. So we're not going to see, I don't think, any more faster times by the sounds of it. If Farrell's just got back, we'll see. Maybe he can get on. I know the phone signal isn't great over there, so it's not always the. He might need to do his hair first or something. You never know. We'll see. What else have we got going on here? Well, we've obviously got a few speed guys tuning in. What is Ferry doing here? Stag. Like I said. Pulled string. That doesn't sound good. Frederick, was it? Ben, who is the sailor that never went to Luderitz, but you really, really like to see on the channel? That is a very good question. That is an absolute good question. And actually, funny, I'm going to go on a little bit of a thing here because this is what I want to do. I'm getting more into the live stuff because it is easier to do and it happens very quickly, but I need it very structured. And I do want to do this questions and answers with some of the top guys in windsurfing, but not the boring questions that we get, kind of like the ones that I've got a bit of thought about and the ones that are kind of interesting and create conversations. So it's kind of like a podcast, but there'd be some structured questions. And I was kind of thinking of getting you guys out there to do the questions. I'm a lazy bastard. No, but I think you probably got some really good questions. And obviously, if you're asking them, you want to know the answers. So, yeah. And I think it'd be quite interesting. But so going back to that question, who is the sailor? Who would I like to see? There is so many. Like, I mean, ex-Simmer teammate Damien Arnoux, I would like to see him at the channel. I know everyone I speak to said he's one of the fastest sailors, but he never does speed. And I've been banging on at him to say, look, yeah, you're doing all right at slalom, but let's say you could be like this top speed sailor and create this other name for yourself. And he's like, he's not interested. He's more interested in slalom, which is fair enough. But I kind of think there's a lot of young guys that go, yeah, but I can do speed when I'm older. And I would like to see some of the younger guys do it because it's not guaranteed that they would be quicker, but we know a couple of them are very, very quick. So to answer your question, Matteo Iachino, you look at him doing the speed in the south of France, he's putting in some times. Would you like to see him at Luderitz? Of course you would. Pierre Mortefon, the top guys in the world, you want to see them. But then you've got the other guys that maybe don't race as well as them, but their top speed is there. So maybe Bruno Martini could be a real interesting speed guy.
He's a pretty fast guy.
He's pretty fast, but is he fast on a speedboard? I don't know.
Who knows?
So yeah, there's interesting ones like that from the slalom world. I don't know any just random fast guys. I think for me it's more about the PWA guys that I would like to see them challenging the speed guys. Let's say I don't think it's as guaranteed as some people think that they're going to be the fastest in the world. Don't get me wrong, they're quick. They're much, much quicker than me. But Luderitz in whatever knots is interesting. Let's have a look. Sorry, oh dear. Sounds like Farrell's pulled a hamstring. Oh shit. Okay, so hot news or hot off the press. Sounds like Farrell's done his hammy, which is... That's not good. That's not good. That's not good at all. That is not good. Sorry. I've got a bit of a somber note. I wasn't expecting that. That's shithouse news. Oh man. So there you go. And that just goes to show, you wait all this time. There's even been a couple of years in between the Luderitz speed, and you get there, you have the first day of wind, and then you get injured. It can happen, no doubt about it. Stag, I'm 72 kilos. I'll be the guy with the baby rhino on back. This is true. And also, I'm a smaller guy. And everyone who's listened to me going on before heard me rant a few times. In slalom especially, I would love to see a weight category for smaller riders. I think there's a genuine interest, and the smaller guys have got different skill sets to the bigger guys. And I kind of see it like boxing. You don't see the featherweights going against the heavyweight boxers. There's no way they're going to be able to compete with the heavyweight boxers. And it's kind of like that in speed, and it's kind of like that in slalom. I would like to be looking across, looking on the same level as as another 80 kilo guy. So like, what is the top speed for an 80 kilo guy in the world? Like, you know, for example, Eric Beale is not a big fella. Maybe he's the fastest guy in the world for his weight category. And I think that's pretty interesting for me, because it gives me a different benchmark to head for. So you go into Luderitz and, you know, yes, Twan Versput, he's looking at Antoine Albo, you know, as the world record. Whereas I go there and I see Antoine's time and I'm like, well, I'm not even going to get close to that. But let's say there was an 80 kilo bracket record, that would be my sights. Maybe it's too fast for me, but I would be like, oh, I'm in, you know, within a knot of that speed, which I genuinely think is quite interesting. Maybe everyone doesn't agree with me. I know I spoke to Maciek about this in the slalom, and he's like, yeah, well, you don't get short guys playing basketball. You just accept that you're never going to be a basketball player. And I was like, well, yeah, maybe there should be. I don't know. Like I say, I'm interested to hear other people's thoughts on that. But there's a lot of short-ass windsurfers like me out there. There's a lot of lighter windsurfers out there. And we need role models to look up to in the speed world, in the slalom world. And I think it will make a difference. That again, my own personal thoughts, but I think it's kind of interesting. What else have we got on here?
Ben.
Yes.
I needed to go.
Okay, man.
I needed to go. I have some work to finish.
Thanks for joining, keeping me company.
Yeah, anytime.
If anyone else wants to swap in for Andrea, I'll put the link in the chat if anyone's brave enough to join me. We're only going to go on for a bit longer because it does seem like the wind has dropped. We've had that message again, like I say, from Farrell O'Shea, who has pulled a hamstring, that's just disastrous news. So that's such a shame for Faz. Yeah, and like I said, I'll put an update of just where the results stand at the moment, because that is what we have to go. And Andrea is going to leave us, mate. So thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Cheers, dude.
See ya. Bye.
See you later, man. Okay, so Andrea Pagan is gone. If you want to join the chat, if anyone's brave enough, anyone got any useful information about speed or whatever, want to tell us a story, want to tell us your experience, you can click on that link and I can decide whether you can enter the chat or not. Like I said, Sunday's not happening. It's been taken over by a live stream. I couldn't concentrate. I'm sorry. It is my fault. The speed got the better of me. Let me just have a refresh to see if we have had any faster times come up. Doesn't look like it. 48.5 knots from Hans Kreisel seems to be the winning speed of the day. Obviously, there's a 57 in there, but I'm not sure that's entirely correct. It seems a little bit out the norm. Twan looking at about second place, 47.5 knots. Gunnar Asmussen, 47.3. Eric Beale right up, 44.7. Like I say, quite small. We got Caro von Tonda, 43.5. There we go. Farrell O'Shea sounds like he's had a bit of a disaster. What else we got on the chat? Let's have a look. Don't the GPS speed sailors do it in weight divisions? Probably do. I've got to be honest, I've been a little bit outside the whole GPS speed thing because I was struggling to upload my things through my watch, and I had a bit of a technical issues. It's probably me being a bit of a retard when it comes to all that. But yeah, it makes sense. I think it does make a lot of sense. But I think, in terms of official 500-meter stuff, I think there could be some clear categories just to make it clear, because maybe in the GPS, there's so many categories, I get a bit confused. So it is tricky, isn't it? There's a difficult balance between that. Weight categories in the UK BSA. Yeah, well, there used to be, when I started racing back in the day, there was I think it was like a heavyweights and lightweights, and lightweights was under 80 kilos, if I remember rightly, and heavyweights was over 80 kilos. But I mean, what is the problem you get then is, what is the cutoff and how much leeway do you get either side? I mean, it's a difficult game. Okay, well, I think that wraps it up. Like I said, if you were waiting for footage, obviously we don't have the footage, But if you are in contact with anybody at Luderitz, I'm trying my best. It would be cool to get those guys on the live stream to share their thoughts. We're going to try and do, well, I'm going to try and do it this week, in the next couple of days, before I go to the Defi Win Superstars. Going to Defi Win Superstars. Stay tuned to the channel. We're going to be doing some stuff from there. But yeah, so maybe just to sort of get a bit of a catch up, get a little bit of like what's going on. Like I said, I've been following Eric Beale, and he's kind of got me excited. I like all that little sort of gimmicky techie stuff, and just interested to see how it's been working and what's been going right and wrong. You know, whether it works or not is kind of irrelevant for me. Just the actual thought process and the sheer just will to do it. I love it. Absolutely love it. So there we go. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned to the channel. If you haven't subscribe, and we're going to try and bring you more stuff. That's it. I'm out. I'm ending. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. See you next time.